Can folks hear me in the back? Yeah? Okay, great. So I've had the pleasure of working with Mark Sanchez for the past year and a half, and really for many years before that, before I got on the Board of Education. And I think one of the most important questions that many of us will be asked who are supporting Mark is why Mark Sanchez? And I don't know if you heard that. Mark was like, yeah. I mean, we're already the converted. I'm preaching to the choir. But I think it's really important to understand why Mark's candidacy in District 9 is so important. So I could say that Mark has been serving our community for over 15 years. He served as a public school teacher, not an easy job. He served in this district, most recently at Paul Revere Elementary School. And he's been on the Board of Education for the past 8 years. I could say that you should vote for him or support him because he's a community organizer. He's organized teachers for a group called Teachers for Social Justice that runs one of the most successful annual conferences and has done a lot of organizing work with teachers around supplies, around justice, around academic freedom versus scripted learning in our schools. I could say that you should support Mark because he's a proven candidate. He's been able to win on a shoestring budget of, I think, $4,000? Was it $4,000? $6,000? $6,000 for the Board of Education, a citywide race, and he has won, which means that every dollar that you contribute to his campaign is really $10, okay? So times every dollar you give to Mark Sanchez times 10. So your investment will be returned. But I think the most important reason why we should support Mark Sanchez is because Mark is a proven elected leader. And let me tell you something, as a former organizer, it is different being an elected official. There are challenges that electeds face that frankly I didn't really realize. It's complex and there are a lot of challenges and our principles are often challenged. And it has actually really surprised me how often I felt my own principles challenged on the Board of Education just in the past year and a half. It's really easy often as an advocate and organizer to scream and raise hell. Raise hell, right? And say a lot of things that you believe in and to fight for those things. But you often don't know what you're going to get once you elect that person to the Board of Education or to the Board of Supervisors. Mark has a proven track record in the last 8 years of fighting for our values, progressive values. And even more than that, he has been a punching bag of sorts. For those of you who remember that the board before 2 years ago, I know it seems so long ago, but Mark was a punching bag and a shield of progressive values of equity and of serving our communities. And during those 8 years, sorry, I have notes. He's fought for policies such as small school by design, which we finally passed last year. 870. Mark is an advocate of sunshine and transparency in our school district and fought against the gag order. Mark has protected labor, teacher salaries, and teacher rights and workers' rights in our schools. For reaching out and partnering with our community partners, with our CBOs, and with our community leaders. And he stood against the military in our schools. Yeah. And then when San Francisco decided that they wanted more of what Mark and other folks on the board had represented that were a minority voice, we were able to sweep in the last election and elect more people. And now we have seen Mark proven himself as a leader. And Mark has been tremendous as a facilitator, as someone who really does listen to all sides, but also now as someone who not only fights for progressive policies, but now has effectively been able to implement those policies in our district. So I think for those reasons that we should all be coming behind Mark. And one last thing that I'll say is that Mark is really one of the most genuine electeds I've met here. And we have a lot of great electeds. And I think anyone that I can call one of the most genuine electeds that you'll meet after 8 years of being in office deserves a seat on the Board of Supervisors. Thank you very much.